Okay, final 2 chapters. Oh, I'm going to cough. Chapter 26, Creeping. When I entered my bedroom, Nan was busy arranging some fresh orange carnations in a vase on my work table. "Hi, Nan," I said, eyeing the flowers with suspicion. "Why are you putting flowers in my room?" Nan smiled. "Just to brighten up the place." I hadn't seen her for 2 days, not since our talk at the hospital, and I'd really missed her. But as I looked at her, I couldn't help feeling worried, because she looked frail and very tired. "Are you all right, Nan?" I asked. "Of course," she grinned at me, and suddenly she didn't look fragile at all. Just looking at her, I knew she was okay. Nan's whole personality shone from her eyes. She was a whirlwind that nothing and nobody could stop. "What about you?" asked Nan. "Have you changed your mind about the operation yet?" "No." "And I'm not going to either," I said. Nan sniffed. "If you say so." "You're not going to start lecturing me, are you?" I asked anxiously. Mum and Dad had gone on about nothing else since I'd let them know of my decision, until I was sick up to the eyebrows of hearing about it. I didn't want the operation, and as far as I was concerned, that was that. "I wouldn't dream of wasting my breath," Nan told me loftily. "Besides, you'll change your mind." "What do you mean?" "I mean, you will see sense and change your mind. Just don't wait too long." "I am not going to change my mind." I admit I was peeved. "What makes you think that?" "Now, if I told you that, you'd know as much as I do." Nan winked at me, and it was such a sly wink, I couldn't help laughing. "Cam, is there anything I can get you? How about some chicken and a nice salad?" "No, thanks, Nan. I'm not hungry," I said. "Besides, I think Mum's downstairs cooking dinner for us all already." "In that case, I think I'll go for a lie down before dinner and catch 40 winks. Although at my age I need more like 80. Nan removed some imaginary dust from my bedside table and headed for the bedroom door. She stopped before she got there, though, and gave me a very strange look. "Cam, you do know you're my favourite grandson, don't you?" she told me. "So far, I'm your only grandson," I pointed out. "True," Nan chuckled. "But you do know I love you." "Yes," I said uncomfortably. "And why are we getting all mushy all of a sudden?" "A little mush now and then never hurt anyone," she told me. "Now, let me give you a kiss." "Do I have to?" "Yes." Reluctantly, I bent my head so that Nan could kiss my cheek. Then she rubbed her fingers over my skin as if she was sanding a rough piece of wood. "Are you shaving yet?" she asked. "Nan?" "Only teasing, Cam. Your skin is as smooth as a baby's bottom, but not as wrinkle-free." "Nan, I thought you were going for a lie down." "I can take a hint," she smiled. "See you later, darling." "Bye, Nan." I held the bedroom door open for her. "Trying to tell me something?" "No, just go," I said. Nan and I smiled at each other before she headed for the spare bedroom. As I closed my door, I wondered for the first time what Nan did at her home in Bolton. Was she lonely? Did she have many friends? What did she do all day? Nan was never one to sit still, that was for sure. I'd have to ask her when she woke up. I could hear her now. "Why the sudden interest? You never asked before." "I'm asking now. And I'll think about whether or not I'm going to tell you." Just playing the imaginary conversation in my head made me smile. I could talk and argue with Nan in a way I couldn't with my parents. Not that she stood for any nonsense. She wouldn't go for that at all. But Nan didn't talk down to me, and she didn't talk to me like a parent. "Cameron, can you come down and help with the dinner, please?" Mum yelled. I sighed. Help with dinner? My left foot. She and Dad just wanted another chance to try and persuade me to change my mind. Slowly, I made my way downstairs. I paused at the kitchen door, took a deep breath, and walked in. An hour later, Mum said, "I think we're about ready to eat now." I eyed Mum and Dad with suspicion. What was going on? They hadn't said a single word about Dr. Bryce or the operation or anything even remotely medical. I just spent the last half hour washing every salad ingredient we had in the salad crisper and chopping and slicing and dicing. Tonight, for the first time, making the salad was totally down to me. Mum raised an eyebrow, but she didn't say a word when I dropped lumps of chunky peanut butter into the salad. I caught Dad miming sticking his fingers down his throat, though, when he thought I wasn't looking. "Have you put all the cutlery on the table?" Dad asked. I nodded. "Fine. You can go and get your Nan now. If she's still asleep, wake her up gently." What did she think I'd do? Burst into her bedroom with a marching band? I ran up the stairs, but only made it 3/4 of the way up before I was out of puff and feeling a bit sick, and my heart was a sledgehammering inside my body. I'd almost forgotten what that was like, getting out of puff, just going up the stairs. I'd become so used to not just running up them, but taking them 2 and 3 at a time with energy to spare. Once I began to get my breath back, I walked up the few remaining stairs, a deep frown cutting into my face. Was I really prepared to give it all up, the healthy, lively feeling it had taken me so little time to get used to? A crowd of images burned through my mind, images of me jumping and running and playing football. They were all worth holding on to, weren't they? Yeah, there was a downside, pills and medicines and doctors and hospitals, and Julie and animal rights extremists. But the upside was life. A life worth something, a life worth living. And surely a life worth living was a life worth fighting for. I stopped on the landing, totally confused. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I wanted the operation, and yet I didn't. I wanted to fight on, and yet I was so tired. What was the matter with me? I usually wasn't this dithery. Was Nan right? Was I changing my mind? "Nan," I called softly into the darkened room as I opened the door. "Nan, dinner's ready." I peeped into the room, which was dark except for the low wattage light coming from the bedside lamp. Nan lay on her side, on top of the duvet and facing the door. Her eyes were closed. She was fast asleep. I tiptoed into the room, careful not to make any sudden noise and frighten the life out of her. Up close, she looked so peaceful. She actually had a slight smile on her face. She was obviously having a good dream. "Nan," I placed my hand on her upper arm and nudged her gently. "Dinner's ready, and I made an extra special salad to go with it." I could just see Nan's face when she found out exactly what my special ingredient was. Nan, I nudged her a bit harder. Her arm, which was resting on her side, slipped backwards off her body, and her hand flopped into the duvet, palm up. I stared at her. "Nan," I shook her a bit harder. Her whole body tipped over so that she was lying on her back, her eyes still closed. A feeling raced through me, as if every drop of blood in my body had turned to Arctic water. I stepped back, unable to take my eyes off my Nan, not even able to blink. Do something. I had to do something. "Mum! Dad!" A scream ripped from me, and once I'd started, I couldn't stop. Dad came bounding up the stairs, closely followed by Mum. "What is it? What's the matter?" Dad asked anxiously. I pointed at Nan. Mum took one look at her before rushing over. Dad ushered me out of the room. My feet barely touched the carpet in my haste to get out of there. Because I was frightened. More frightened than I'd ever been before in my life. Even more frightened than I was before my heart transplant operation. As soon as I was on the landing, Dad went back into the spare bedroom, shutting the door behind him. I put my hands against the closed door, praying desperately that I was wrong, that Nan was just asleep. Please let her be all right, please, please. My hands fell to my side as I waited for something, anything to happen. What was going on in there? What were Mum and Dad doing? I turned and walked towards my room. I didn't make it. Halfway there, I leaned against the wall before sliding down it. My face was soaking wet with silent tears, and all at once I couldn't keep silent anymore. I howled like some kind of wounded animal and curled up in a ball on the floor, where I cried and cried and cried. I didn't even know Dad had left Nan's room till he sat on the carpet next to me and held me tight. Is Nan okay? I gulped out. But I already knew the answer. Cameron, she's dead, Dad said as gently as he could. But she died peacefully in her sleep. I cried and cried some more while Dad rocked me without a word. Chapter 27. See you soon. Hello, Alex. Yes, it's me. It's the new year and I'm still standing. Well, sitting at any rate. I know it's gone, but Merry Christmas and a very happy new year. And it will be a happy new year. Do you know why? Because the new year will bring you. It's been a while since I've had the camcorder on to talk to you. A lot has happened. First and worst. Nan died a few weeks ago. I'm sorry to say it bluntly like that, but there's no other way to say it really, is there? Nan died in her sleep. Even now, I wonder if she knew something was going to happen. I keep replaying in my head all the things she said just before she died. I can't get over the feeling that it was as if she was saying goodbye. Is that silly? It probably is. But I've had a lot of time to think about it since. I still miss her. Desperately. I've never had anyone close to me die before. For a long while, I thought I'd never get over it. That doesn't mean I'm over it now. Of course I'm not. Even now, it sort of makes me choke up. Nan was so full of life. I guess I'd convinced myself that everyone close to me was going to live forever. Mum and Dad tried to tell me that Nan had a good innings and it was just her time. It doesn't really help. I didn't expect it to hurt inside quite so much. But it is getting better. I never thought that would happen either. It's funny the way things work out, isn't it? My first transplant didn't take. So I had to decide whether or not I was going to have another one. A second transplant. Another pig's heart. To be honest, I wasn't going to. But a couple of days after Nan's death, I decided I would. I must be a glutton for punishment. The papers had a field day. Poor Dr. Bryce has been called a butcher, and there have been calls for him to be struck off and struck down and struck out and all sorts. I'm not supposed to know that, but one of the nurses told me. You see, his second pig heart patient died. I didn't know her. I don't even know her name. All I know is she was an artist and she was married with a son. I wonder how they're feeling now. No, I don't mean that. I know how they're feeling now, but I wonder if they still feel it was worth it. I guess they do. When you get right down to it, it's simple really. A chance of life against no chance at all. And although I didn't know her, I must admit that when I heard, it did upset me. I wonder what Trudy and the second pig, I think his name was Paul, would make of all this. Wherever they are, they're probably laughing themselves stupid. Then again, maybe they're not. Spite and vindictiveness, like that, is more of a human thing than a pig thing. Unless pigs really do think like the one in George Orwell's Animal Farm. I think I prefer the pigs that Dick King-Smith writes about, to be honest. So why did I change my mind about the transplant? It had a lot to do with what Nan said to me on that last day. But I think it was mostly her dying. It sounds terrible, doesn't it? What I mean is, Nan's death made me realise that I was giving up too easily. I still have too many things to do and too many places to see and too many people to meet before I let go. I decided to have the operation for Mum and Dad and Nan, but mostly for myself. But I'm not doing so well this time round. It's taken me a long time to get my strength back. and I still get tired very easily. They only let me take this message because I promised to keep it short. I'm hoping to be around when you're born. I reckon that's doable. If I'm not around, it won't be for want of trying. But whatever happens, Alex, just remember that I love you. I did from the time I knew about you. You might hear things about me, things about this second operation and what happened before it and why I did it and such like, things that might upset you. So I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. The papers are saying I tried to commit suicide by drowning myself in my local swimming pool. That's absolute rubbish. I didn't try to commit suicide. I wanted to touch the bottom of the pool and then I couldn't get back up to the surface. It's as simple as that. Some of the papers are trying to make out that I became so disgusted with the idea of having a pig's heart in my body, I wanted to bow out. Journalists will write any load of twaddle to try and sell newspapers. So if someone tries to tell you that that's what happened, you tell them to go and play with traffic or something. Mum and Dad are outside waiting for me to finish. They're doing a lot better now. They're a lot calmer and they're always kissing and cuddling. I think you did that. But I like to think that I had something to do with it as well. Perhaps by watching me, they remember how important, how precious every moment of every day is. Do you think I'm full of myself? I probably am. Why not? If you don't like me, then who else will? I fancied Julie, but she went off me after my operation. She said I wasn't the same because my heart had changed. That upset me for a while. I think that played a big part in that pool business. I wanted to show her and Mum and Dad, and mostly myself, that I could do it. That not only was I the same, but I was better, not worse. There's a lot of nonsense about me and Mum and Dad floating about at the moment. But if you want to know the truth, you ask one of us. Promise you'll do that. I can't wait to see you. I wish you were going to be born tomorrow. But then again, maybe I don't. You're the next challenge I've set myself. I know that doesn't make much sense to you. It doesn't have to. Just know that I'm determined to hold you as soon as you're born. That's my new challenge. And I like this one. It's a lot less strenuous than touching the bottom of my local pool, but a lot more work and much more uncertain. Still, it wouldn't be much of a challenge if it was easy, would it? When you're born in April, I am going to hold you tight and say, "Welcome to the world, Alex. I'm your big brother, Cameron Joshua Kelsey, and I hope one day you'll be as proud of me as I am of you." I'll see you soon, Alex. This is Cameron Joshua Kelsey signing off. And that is the end of Pick Up.